Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm coming to you from House of Reptiles in Tigard, Oregon. And today we're going to do a spotlight video on the leopard gecko, also known as Eublepharis macularius. We got a request recently that we do a video on these guys, in spite of the fact that they're common, and there's lots of info out there. It's always good to have more, as they're definitely one of the most recommended beginner reptile pets, and even people who have lots of reptile pets find these to be enjoyable. They're great little pets, so we'll go over a bit of their care and see if it's the right lizard for you. Leopard geckos are a relatively small gecko. They get to about 8 inches in length. They come from India and Pakistan and parts of Afghanistan, where they live in rocky desert areas. They don't need high humidity, but they need a relatively warm basking spot. So one of these guys can live comfortably in a 10 to 15 gallon terrarium for all of its life. You may be able to keep a group together. Sometimes people keep colonies and they do well. But as with most reptiles, more than one male in a cage would definitely not be a good idea. And there's no guarantees that they're going to get along with each other. These guys don't need friends. They do great when they're solitary, and yeah, kept singly, they do beautifully. So as far as care goes for these guys, it's pretty simple. They are nocturnal, so they don't need specialized UVB lighting to metabolize calcium from their food. You can use either an under-tank heating pad or a heat source from above and a lamp. As long as it doesn't give off white light, you can use it 24 hours a day, and that would be a good choice. 90 to 95 degrees is about the temperature that you're looking for in the basking area. And you can achieve that, like I said, in a few different ways. Under-tank heating pad, a red or black basking light, or you can use a ceramic heat emitter of the appropriate wattage for your cage. It's going to depend on how warm your house is, things like that. But if you come in and chat with us about your needs, we can tell you how to figure that out. The other side of the cage, from whatever heat source that you use, you are not going to want to have any heat on. It could be as low as 70 or 75 degrees. And they will thermoregulate. They will go back and forth from one side to the other as needed to keep themselves at a comfortable level and able to digest their food. Generally speaking, you'll want to have at least 2 hiding spots, one on the hot side and one on the cool side, so they can feel secure while still being at the appropriate temperature for them. We also often utilize, if they are having trouble shedding, we will make a moist hide, a humid hide box. And we have one in the cage over here in the middle. It is a hide that has only one entrance, and it is filled with moss that is damp. And they will crawl in there if they need some extra humidity to get their skin off. And it does this beautifully while also keeping humidity in the cage at a normal level, so you're not making everything swampy. They don't like it wet in there. So it gives you good options as far as helping them shed. As far as water goes, all they need is a very shallow dish. They don't want to swim. They don't generally drink much, if at all. So a good shallow water dish that you keep clean. Generally you'll want to change the water every day, especially when it's shallow. Over on the cool side of the cage is going to be your best bet. As far as food goes, they are insectivores. They're not going to eat any vegetable material, and they also don't need vertebrate prey like mice or rats. But a good base diet of crickets with some variety thrown in, waxworms, mealworms, soldier fly larvae, things like that will do beautifully for them. We use a decent dosage calcium and D3 supplement. We use Mineral here. We recommend it to everybody. So very light dusting of that on all insects you use is a great idea to help keep them healthy. As far as frequency of feeding, babies you're going to want to feed every day in small amounts. Juveniles and young adults you can feed every other day, and older adults you can feed 2, maybe 3 times per week, and that will be enough for them. You generally only want to feed them enough that they will eat it all within 2 hours or so, otherwise the insects can stress your pet, and you'll want to remove any that are left over at that point. Generally it's better to just feed them a few and see that they eat them, and then add more from there. And they'll let you know how much they need to eat. But yeah, like I said, within a limited period of time, just give them all they're eating. let's see. I think we've covered most of it. You want your hides, feeding spot. Oh, as far as substrate goes, there are a few options. We use sand generally for our leopard geckos, and this is reptile-specific calcium carbonate sand. It has round grains, so it's not rough-edged, and it's not going to generally cause the issues with impaction that people tend to talk about when they talk about play sand usage and things like that. These are quite smooth, polished granules, so they should do quite nicely. So a layer of that. Little young geckos, you can also use paper or linoleum or cage carpet, and that will do well also. It kind of avoids any issues that the little guys might have with impaction or just getting tons of substrate in their mouth when they're messily feeding away on bugs. And it's fine to use non-particulate cage carpet type substrates for adults as well. Some people just think that sand looks better. So that's a matter of personal preference. I don't believe that the gecko is going to care either way as long as they're warm and fed and have places to hide, but it just gives you some options. I believe that's about it. These guys make excellent pets. They can do well with kids as long as they are handled gently and they're on, say, a table or on a bed, so on the off chance that they go running, they're not going to go falling on the ground and hurting themselves. Otherwise, they're quite hardy and a lot of fun and a beautiful little pet. So.